All right, we are ready for some practice with chronological order or sequence, whichever one you want to call it. You might hear it called both. So we are going to read through this little article about how to adopt, and then we're going to work our way through first, second, third, and fourth. So putting the important information from this article in order. Also, sorry about my smart notebook over here. I don't know how to get rid of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through this together. So you should already have this page pulled up. This page also has another page, but we're going to talk about this one here in just a little bit. This is going to be the graded one that you're going to do. So you need to be on the second page, the one that says chronological order, how to adopt. So first we're just going to read through this, just get the information, and then we'll look back in the passage. And like I said, we'll put them, the most important things in order of first, second, third, and fourth. So how to adopt. Deciding to adopt a child is a big decision for any couple. It is also a big decision for those who are currently caring for the child. There are many parts involved in giving a child a happy home. The couple wishing to adopt a child first must apply to an adoption agency. The adoption agency will take steps to find out whether it is a good idea for the couple to adopt a child. After the couple applies, the adoption agency assigns a caseworker to investigate. The caseworker needs to know the couple's background. The caseworker also checks the couple's health and finances. If the agency feels that the couple will be good parents and the child will be safe with them, the agency has the child live in the couple's home for 6 to 12 months. This is an important time for deciding whether or not the adoption can become legal. If the child and the couple still want the adoption, a lawyer then prepares an adoption request. The request is given to a court. If the court approves, the adoption becomes legal and the child and parents become a family. So we're going to try to put the events of how to adopt in order. So the first thing that I'm going to do is look for some of those clue words that we talked about when we were talking about chronological order. So things like first, second, third. And if I look through, I'm just kind of skimming and scanning. I'm not reading every single word, but I do see the word first here. So I'm going to read this sentence. It says, the couple wishing to adopt a child first must apply to an adoption agency. So I think that's what I'm going to put. So I'm going to get a text box here. Couple must apply to adoption agency. And notice I'm not writing incomplete sentences. You don't need to write incomplete sentences for these because I'm really just more looking for, can you find the information? You should also be putting this in because I am going to take this for a participation grade, making sure that you were following along with me. So the first step is the couple must apply to, and I'm going to put an adoption agency. Give us a little more space. Also, if I go too fast and you need to pause the video and you can put your text or what you need to in here. You can always start it back up when you're ready to move on to the next part. So that's the first step. And that was pretty easy because it gave us a clue word here, right? That also means that this is where I'm going to start reading on from to find my other, the other information, because I may not find second or third in there, but that's definitely a good place to start. The adoption agency will take steps to find out whether it's a good idea for the couple to adopt a child after the couple applies. There we go. Okay, so it doesn't say second, but it does say this is like the next step after the first step that we've identified, right? After the couple applies, the adoption agency assigns a caseworker to investigate. So that's what I'm going to put here for second. The agency, let me double check how they worded that. The agency assigns a caseworker. Make that a little bit smaller again. Sorry about the notebook. So first the couple applies, then the agency assigns a caseworker. So that's going to be the second step. Again, it didn't say second, but we did find some clue words because it did say after the couple applies, and we knew that was the first step. So again, if you need to pause the video to make sure you have all of your information in there, that's fine. I'm going to keep moving just so this video isn't, 25 minutes long. All right, so the adoption agency assigns a caseworker. The caseworker needs to know that the couple's background. The caseworker also checks the couple's health and finances. This is all good information, but if we're like thinking back to kind of main idea, these are more the details than the main idea. And really the main idea is kind of what's going in each of these boxes right now. So we're going to just keep on moving from there. If the agency feels that the couple will be good parents and the child will be safe with them, the agency has the child live in the couple's home for 6 to 12 months. So here we had the caseworker look at all this information, right? Now we're on to the third step. So this is where the child will live in the couple's home for 6 to 12 months. So that's what I'm going to put here, third. Child will live in the couple's home for 6 to 12 months. I'm going to make that way smaller so it fits in here. So that would be the third step. So the first step, and I'm just going to reread these because sometimes, it's easy to find mistakes if we read through these. We'll know if something is kind of out of order. So first, the couple has to apply. Then the agency assigns a caseworker. Then the child will live in the couple's home for a little while. That all sounds like that goes in order. So now we're just looking for the last step. Okay, so this is an important time for deciding whether the adoption can become legal. Okay, if the child and the couple still want the adoption, then a lawyer prepares an adoption request. The request is given to the court, and if the court approves, the adoption becomes legal. So a lawyer prepares request, and that smart notebook thing's going to drive me nuts there. A lawyer prepares the request, and the court approves. Okay, I'm going to make this kind of small just so it fits in here and you guys can actually see it. That silly smart notebook thing. Obviously, you don't need to write smart notebook basic version. Just this. So, lawyer prepares a request and the court approves. So those are like the big 4 steps like we were talking about. Oh, you kind of can't see. I'll leave that there for just a second. Again, if you need to pause the video here, pause the video so that way you make sure you get all of your boxes filled in. So when we're looking about chronological order, one reason that this text structure is so helpful is because it does just lay it out for you. Here's what happens, then what happens, then what happens, right? Another reason is because we have to read instructions a lot. As adults, as children, right? You're listening to instructions right now. You're following my instructions right now. And that's how I give instructions to you is chronological order. First you're doing this, next you're doing this. I do the same thing when I write on the board. Here's what I need you to do next. And first, second, third, all of those things. So this is a really, really important one because this is something that you're going to see a lot when you are older and you're working. Maybe you'll see it in an email. Maybe you'll see it in instructions if you're putting things together, you're building things. Maybe you have employees yourself when you get older and you'll have to lay things out and say, these are the things that I need you to get done. So chronological order really is kind of an important one. It's also important as you're sharing kind of your life story, as you remember back on your own life. You'll put things in sequence order and chronological order. So this is an important one. So take just a minute, make sure you have all of these done. Then you're going to move on to the next page in Canvas, and you can actually leave it split screen because we're going to talk about the Sojourner Truth article, and you guys are going to practice putting some things in chronological order. So head on over to the next page in Canvas and be ready to start your assignment.